Who are you? What's your role? And who do you work for?
Hi, I'm Shivai. I'm a software engineer and developer relations engineer at Millisearch, and I also contribute actively to the open source project called Wasm Edge, which is a WebAssembly runtime. It's part of the CNCF right now.
What are 3 Kubernetes emerging tools that you are keeping an eye on?
So the 3 main Kubernetes tools that I'm really interested in are part of the Kubernetes ecosystem. Is the main one is Spin-Kube, which essentially allows you to run WebAssembly workloads inside of Kubernetes. Now, not just that, because we are integrating it with the WebAssembly shim, the Continuity Wasm shim. We also have operators and schedulers that are being built for WebAssembly workloads. So I'm super excited for that. The other thing that I'm really excited about is the newest releases for, of course, like Kubernetes and the DRA, which is the Dynamic Resource Allocation, primarily for being able to run machine learning workloads with GPU clusters very efficiently. And the capability of, in the future, adding web GPU support, which is which is basically a GPU API that is being ported over to WASI, which will allow you to also then run GPU support for WebAssembly workloads. So if you're running machine learning workloads like LLM models inferencing with WebAssembly, now you'll be also able to get GPU cluster support, GPU slicing support inside of your Kubernetes cluster.
One of our guests, Matthias, suggests that the best way to learn Kubernetes is by doing and getting your hands dirty. Then he built his own bare metal Kubernetes cluster in his spare time. What's your strategy for learning new Kubernetes tools and features?
I think the most important aspect is just understanding how any architecture kind of works. So just breaking down, for example, if you're learning about Kubernetes, you know that there is the API server and then there are pods. Just understanding how everything works fundamentally and then also then applying it through real world projects. That is a really great way. And also, of course, don't feel shy to actually reach out to the maintainers and core contributors of that particular project in case you have any doubts when it comes to learning about all these particular technologies. So, for instance, for me, when it came to like understanding what is Containerd, how CRUN works, these were technologies that were involved when you're kind of learning WebAssembly workloads and running them inside of Kubernetes. So I didn't know much about Containerd. So I reached out to the maintainers of Containerd, the VMware folks, and I was able to learn internals of how that works. And then that helped me to then, work on actually setting up WebAssembly workloads directly inside of Containerd and running through the Wasm shim. So those are very effective strategies when it comes to some beginners who are trying to get into learning new Kubernetes tools or concepts.
Another guest of ours, Alex, spent several weeks troubleshooting an issue with Kubernetes, which required the team to explore the kernel code. He stressed the importance of learning while troubleshooting. Is there any practical advice that you've learned during the years regarding debugging?
Yeah, I mean, I know like debugging can be very stressful for a lot of folks. I think like for me, what really works is looking at the documentation and understanding that, okay, like if there is a particular type of error, just going back and trying to identify like the steps that I've used, and of course looking at Stack Overflow or using tools like K8s GPT that can give you some additional insights. Because of course, if you're a beginner and if you are new to a concept, the bugs or the issues that arise might be something alien to you, so might be something new to you. So again, like reaching out to folks and again, like using standard debugging techniques. For example, I have been involved with doing a lot of like cloud native WebAssembly debugging. Now I use like standard print line debugging that you'll use in a normal programming language kind of scenario, or you might use like standard debuggers. So just understanding what all different debugging tools that are out there and which works the best for you, and just trying out all of them, right? And if you still face an issue, then reach out to the community members. So that's one of the effective debugging techniques that I'll recommend to everyone.
Kubernetes is turning 10 years old this year. What should we expect in the next 10 years to come?
I think as we have already seen that in the past 10 years, we have seen that companies have now adopted Kubernetes. A lot of companies have started to adopt there are a lot of Kubernetes learning resources. We'll just see more success stories of companies that have not yet migrated to now migrating into Kubernetes, and of course like seeing a good balance of on-prem versus cloud Kubernetes resources. And I think like we'll also see a lot of like WebAssembly adoption and running like your faster workloads that do not require you to have like smaller cold start times to run on WebAssembly, and then partnering very, very well with Kubernetes as well.
What's next for you?
For me, well, I'm really excited for the Spin-Kube project, as I mentioned. Just working more on it. It's a brand new project, so I'll be contributing to the documentation, contributing to the project itself, and just helping more people get adoption and trying to just get better at using WebAssembly with Kubernetes.
How can people get in touch with you?
So you can connect with me on my Twitter. It's @howdevelop. And I'm very active over there. And of course, I'm also active on the CNCS Slack. So you can reach out to me if you have any doubts or if you want to discuss about machine learning on Kubernetes or WebAssembly on Kubernetes.